So I appreciate you coming on,
No doubt,
Daeson.
man.
We've been meaning to make this happen for a while, so I'm glad we're
Definitely,
able to
definitely.
get together, chop it up, man. For the people that don't know you, you do a lot of different things, but kind of just give a quick rundown on like what you do now, and we can go from there
All right, for
on your
everyone, my
journey.
name is Daeson Benjamin. The owner of B&B Enterprises, also B&B, cabinet and carpentry. So what I do, I started in real estate, but I do the full remodeling, construction, development. Now that is where I put a lot of my focus and time and energy. The cabinet and carpentry. It's all in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I did open up a showroom where individuals could see the cabinets that I do now.
Okay.
Offer and provide to customers. And just to create a better ambiance experience for them to come in, see the quality work,
Mm-hmm.
see, just a more comfortable space to discuss business.
Yeah.
Overall. But also having that extra additional service
Yeah.
or to be able to provide for them. But overall, construction is where I'm at. And that's where a lot of my time is going right now.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. I love it. I help individuals from many ranges, from small projects to additions. This year, we'll be going into new construction.
Okay.
So, just growing it. Focus, perfecting the craft every day.
Yeah.
Keeping the customer first, and just elevating in that regard.
Love it, love it. So you've been doing this for a little while. How'd you get into this type of business? Like what was it like? Did you always love real estate and
Uh,
building things, or like talk me through that?
So growing up, in Bloomfield, my family is well known in the community.
Mm.
I have uncles who've invested in real estate. They own
Okay.
buildings throughout Hartford. I remember, growing up, I had to be like around 13. I remember my mom, she went to her first auction. She bought a property that she didn't know much about.
Mm.
She ended up losing the deposit because it was way more work than she even knew. And
Gotcha. Oh, so you mean like one of those auctions where they got like the sign out
yeah,
front?
yeah, yeah.
Come
The
on this
sign up front,
day.
come on the weekend.
I've always seen
and
those.
bid it.
What's that look like? What's that process like?
So essentially, you go there. The property's either foreclosed on
Mm.
because they didn't pay their mortgage, or back
Mm.
taxes. Could be a variety of those things, but those two are typically the reason why a property will go into foreclosure.
Yeah.
And go there, they have a starting bid usually for what is owed.
Mm-hmm.
So if they owe 60,000 in taxes, that's what the starting bid will be. If
Yeah.
they owe 180 on a mortgage, typically that's what the starting bid would be. If they have any other liens that may
Yeah.
be added on, so then you start from there. You bid 180,
Yeah.
190. So you go up to the price
Is
point.
it like an auction bar where somebody's like, is it like
It's
that
not
or
like
not like
that, but
that?
it
Not
is
like the
like
car auction.
I got 105. Then there's a bidder number 11,
Okay.
110.
Okay.
So it's not like that, but it gives individuals opportunity to
Got
think
it.
and process what their next number will be. So she did that, and the property was more than she expected.
As in work that
As
had to be
far as
done.
work,
Yeah.
yeah. It had some structural issues,
Mm.
so she decided to just walk away from
Yeah.
that deal.
Cut the losses.
Cut the losses. But that motivated me, and a lot. My family, like for some reason, my dad always say like everything that I've done, he's done. Like
Mm-hmm.
even it was to throwing parties that I did. He used to do that back
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
day,
yeah,
growing
yeah.
up in Guyana. My mom, she's very resilient, willing to take shots.
Mhm.
Don't take a risk and live with it. And I happen to have that gene and DNA in me from them. And so seeing that, I just always remember that.
Yeah.
And it was just something I always wanted to know. I always wanted to get in real estate. I
Yeah.
saw the lifestyle that those around me live through real estate.
Yeah.
So it was just something that what really gravitated to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been always in sales. I was working
Okay.
in Foot Locker for 10 years.
That's where the shoe game
Yeah,
came from.
yeah.
I don't know if y'all can see it, man. He got some crispy shoes on. Every time dude come by, you be working and got some crispy. I'm like, how you in construction and you got some $300 shoes on?
It's still in me. It's still in me, But the shoes are just the shoes,
Yeah.
I just keep it real organic to who I am.
Yeah.
I love sneakers, so if you don't understand. Like I can't wear work boots all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steel toes. Depending on the site, what you're called for, but So I need something comfortable, protect the knees, keep myself youthful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You run around these kids, you gotta stay youthful.
Yeah, they be checking
But
for the feet.
yeah. But overall, I knew that while I was working in Foot Locker, I knew that I wanted to be a realtor on the
Hmm.
side. I felt I would flourish in it. I'm good at sales. I'm good at communicating with individuals. And 2018 came around. I was no longer with Foot Locker, but ironically, I already took the class to become a real estate agent.
Okay.
But because I was so consumed with work
Yeah,
and
yeah.
comfortable in that work environment, I didn't. It wasn't like a sense of urgency for me to take the test.
Yeah, yeah, because we were just talking about it was like a job, it's not gonna be like the golden handcuffs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like you
yeah, yeah.
just kind of used
Nah,
to it.
for
You got the
real.
money coming in.
But I told myself, excuse me, I gave this company 10 years, and I
10 years
speak.
you were there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was there for 10 years, and I tell a lot of people, I love this story because when you stick to something and when you really manifest it, and I always said I wouldn't leave Foot Locker unless they let me go. The
Hmm.
tongue is real powerful,
And they
so
let you go.
they let me go, and I'm there sitting now like what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
But I said to myself, I gave this company 10 years. I have to give myself 10 years.
yeah, yeah,
I said I'm not going to work for another company. I have to figure it out. I know I'm gonna figure it out. I have to give myself 10 years, and I already planted those seeds.
yeah.
I just didn't keep on watering it as I needed to. So now at that time, it was like a battery in the back of like I have to plant these seeds now
Yeah.
before it's too late.
So real quick before you go on, like, because that can be a tough thing for people. Like, if you have a job and that's your source of income, and then that's cut off. Like, what was that mindset like when you lost your job? Because I've been laid off. A lot of people that I talked to have been laid off, especially a lot of entrepreneurs. My dad, he was laid
Oh
off. That's
yeah.
what got him starting his business. So talk through that, what that felt like, and then
I don't
how
think
you
people
bounce back
really
from it.
understand. Like a lot of people didn't know that I was going through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people did not know, because I don't show a lot of emotions. I
Mm.
don't let my problems. I don't have a problem talking about it.
Yeah.
If someone was to ask,
Mm-hmm.
But that's why today I'm a strong athlete. Just to ask them how you mental,
Yeah.
just how you doing, like
Yeah. Yeah.
legit, and just more of an in depth
And,
question.
and, and be intentional, not
And
just
no,
like
no,
the
no,
small
just
talk.
yeah,
How you
just like
doing? Like, how
your
you really
mental.
doing?
Like,
Yeah.
when you ask how your mental is, I feel that's a real question. Like,
Yeah.
how you really doing?
Mm.
Give that person the opportunity to let loose.
Yeah.
Because no one asked me that.
Yeah.
I'm really going through something where in 2018 my kids was born in 2016. I got
Mm.
twins. They at home.
Mm-hmm.
Their mother didn't work during that time. I wasn't with having my kids go to daycare, anything in that regard at
Mm-hmm.
such a young age. So for 2 years they were home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking care of everything,
Yeah.
So it's like, what I'm gonna do now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm not. I've never been a man to put that burden on my partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or to. I don't want to see nobody sweat.
Yeah.
So I'm taking. I had an extensive sneaker collection.
Yeah.
I had over 300 pairs of sneakers.
300. Sheesh.
And
Sheesh.
I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
I remember when I left Foot Locker, I pulled my 401k out. I was grinding with that. I cashed out my 401k. I got into real estate. I was grinding with that just to let me hold over so I could buy time to get my mind going.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want my lifestyle to change.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily for me, but for my
For
family,
the
my
people you're
kids, the
taking
people
care
I'm
of.
taking care of.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that exhausted. I didn't really realize because I didn't really realize how much my overhead was.
Yeah.
You know, um,
That'll make you start looking at that
yeah,
budget.
I'm like, where this 401k went? Where this money went?
Yeah.
That 6 months that was gone. But I had my sneaker collection, and I always been an investor as far as like a tangible investor.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at those shoes as far as one day I could let it go. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I sold my collection.
All of them, or you kept a
Like
couple?
I did it in stages. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I did it in stages. Um, like 3/4, like when I needed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do it in chunks. Just to got rid of it. But that helped me too because
Mm-hmm.
now it allowed me to not have that attachment to things.
Yes. Yes.
Something that I had a strong attachment to, but now
Mm-hmm.
I had the mindset you can always get it back.
Yeah.
But that helped me, and I'll tell you later on how it helped me. It helped me even with real estate
Yeah.
with properties. You hold on to something, you're gonna always get it back.
Yeah.
Or in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But these are tools in order to make you be able to for the next play.
Yeah.
So April 2018, they let me go. Went into real estate full time. Helping individuals buy. At that time it was a buyer's market.
Yep. Yep.
You know, individuals was it was good to. I'm glad I was able to get both sides
Hmm.
because at that time I was able to help individuals buy. Right now, it's kind of going back to a buyer's market, but I was able to help individuals to buy, understand, get into that rhythm of really understanding the client, their needs.
Hmm.
As a full time real estate agent.
Yep.
And I understand very quickly I didn't enjoy doing rentals.
Yeah.
So buying and sellers is the only thing I focused
Yeah.
on.
Rentals aren't that
Yep.
fun.
And I really got into real estate because I thought at first, like, as a realtor, I'll get those deals first.
Yeah.
If it don't work like that.
Nah.
But in a sense, those relationships that you build start having opportunities come your way.
Hmm.
So when they started coming, there's individuals on my team where I was working at. One gentleman in particular, he passed away, Sean Aldridge. He was a great mentor of mine.
Hmm.
He actually showed me the ropes, showed me, and presented my first flip.
Word.
So that sneaker money that I had,
Yeah.
I had a property at the time, so I used the sneaker money. I used my house as collateral.
Mm.
Got my first flip and wins a
So
lot
use it as a collateral to buy
to buy the
property,
property.
do the fix up.
Yeah, yeah. So I had to borrow money from a hard money lender.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
At first, because when I left Foot Locker, I'm thinking, all right, I got my LLC.
Yeah.
I got a business, so now I can buy properties through my business.
Yeah.
I learned so fast that just because you got an LLC,
that don't come
that
with
don't cut
business credit.
that don't cut not only business, it don't come with profit. Profit. You gotta
Yeah.
show
Yeah. You
profit.
gotta show.
You gotta show the bank that I'm strong for 2 years. Not
Yeah.
I just opened this up 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
some money in my account. Where's the relationship? Where's the consistency? The
Mhm.
bank want to see consistency before they lend you the money.
100%.
So
They
it's a
want to make
lot
sure
of
they're getting their money
exactly.
back.
So it's a lot that I had to learn very quickly to understand the game, to understand my strategy, what works for me, and through the relationships, through really buckling down and taking that risk.
Yeah.
I did my first flip. The first one I did a lot by myself, so I understood a lot of the ins and outs, what to look for.
Yeah.
Permitting. You know, um, the true reason why you need to do your due diligence
Hmm.
with the property and research. And I made out well on that one. Then I went to another one, and I started building my team, my network. I documented a lot of the work that I've done,
Hmm.
and it happened to be the individuals I help, as far as buyers or sellers,
Hmm.
end up asking for my services. And then, when COVID came, I'm seeing the numbers drastically change from
Yeah.
what I was buying before. I'm like, I can't buy in this market.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not about to lose everything I just did. So
Hmm.
that's when I really truly pivoted to actually more so focus on helping individuals with their projects. Um, I helped you around that
Yeah. Yeah.
time,
For sure. For sure.
so those projects help build those relationships. Focus on the quality of work and standing behind the work. It's not easy. Just understanding the numbers, understanding that process, and that's what got me here, as far as B&B Enterprises. So I not only do my own rehabs and development, which through the real estate world, I've built good relationships and
Hmm.
teams and a network where we do projects together as partnerships, where I do it individually and I help individuals with their own projects achieve
Hmm.
their goals and making sure that the quality of work is where it need to be. And I feel as though I'm where I am because everyone always said the contractor is what kills a lot of investors.
Hmm. Well,
And
talk more on that. What do you mean by that?
no, they're not understanding the numbers. They're not being transparent.
Hmm.
They're not following through with the service they say they're going to
Gotcha.
do. They put the money first before the work and the
Hmm.
customer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, just taking on jobs and the
Taking on
project.
jobs and not. It's
Not
funny you
executing
say
it.
that because I've definitely been in that, like, on that side of, like, investing in real estate and working with many different contractors. It's like okay, well, I don't know if this guy's actually going to do what he says he's going to do within the time frame, and, like, how have you differentiated yourself? Obviously, seeing different contractors like that in the market, how have you intentionally differentiated yourself to be be successful in
I
this
just it comes down to integrity, so that goes back to my parents, how they raised me,
space? Hmm.
standing behind my work. Not, I'd rather take a loss than ruin the quality or my
Mm.
credibility. I'm not sure. You've referrals. I'm referral based.
Yeah.
I haven't even put true marketing dollars behind my brand.
Mm.
Any opportunity that's come my way is because someone seen my quality of work, or they were referred due to their experience with me.
Yeah.
And I just keep the communication high. In this business, you have to communicate exceptionally well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to teach too, in the process. Like, if you're gonna be doing a project for someone, let them know about the domino effects of what can happen if you take down this wall.
Yeah.
If you want to put this washer machine on this side of the house, which is far away from the drain line,
Hmm.
you gotta let them
These are
know how
potential
extensive
issues.
it is to get it to the other side to get to the drain.
Hmm.
So why the cost would be, much higher. Why what loopholes you'll have to go through to get it there,
Yeah.
and just so they can understand the
I
process.
think that's the big piece of it that you highlighted. Like you kind of been in sales, so you kind of have to be able to explain and make your client feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
before they're going to spend their money, right?
Yeah.
And like that piece, I think a lot of contractors may miss. It's like I can do this job, and they're ready to take the money, give me a deposit, and then like not keeping the customer in the loop, understanding the full way through.
For the full scope. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to walk them down.
Yeah.
Like every customer, it may sound crazy, but these are your babies.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they don't know.
Most
They
of the time
just
they don't know.
and,
That's
and
why
a
they
lot of
hiring
and a
you.
lot of times they're hearing things from their uncles or family members. Oh, no, that's nothing to get done.
Yeah.
That, but they underestimate. But they're not really understanding. Like, every job is different.
100%.
And is it getting done the right way?
Yeah.
Is it being done to code?
Mm-hmm.
So certain jobs, I would say, if you're not gonna do it completely, I won't touch it.
Yeah.
Because
Because your
now,
name is on it.
not only my name is on it, if not just because I've been in your space, if something goes wrong, I'm liable.
Yeah.
It could easily say I did it.
Yep. Yep.
So unless we're not doing it 100% the way it needs to, because I find myself every time I've compromised, like went against the grain as far as like making it work,
Mm-hmm.
for them to save a few dollars or
Compromising on
whatnot,
your rules
on the
of what for
quality
your
of what they
business.
want.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be the finish they want,
Yeah.
and I end up doing it anyway, even if it's going to cost me money,
Mm-hmm.
because I know at the end of the day, which I knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
So now I've come to learn to accept the fact that, what, understanding my boundaries,
Yeah.
setting them, standing on them, and just communicating effectively and be okay with that.
Yeah.
And that transparency has let individuals come back comfortably. Business has been done
Mm-hmm.
the way it needs to. I'm not feeling I'm shortchanged. They're getting the quality work that they want,
Mm-hmm.
and no shortcuts. No, it's getting done the way it needs to.
Yeah.
So, that's what has helped me. That's advice I would give to anyone that's going to be in this business.
Mm-hmm.
Be very transparent, communicate as effectively as you can. Don't, if something comes up, just communicate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's the worst thing you can do
you
is
know,
not communicate.
and don't be afraid to say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the job
Powerful.
is not for you, I feel a customer will respect that even more.
Yeah.
And don't waste their time. Let them
You may not be a good fit for
fit for
everyone.
everyone. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I love referrals,
Mm-hmm.
because if you refer someone,
Yeah.
I know that, all right, you guys had a similar mindset.
Yeah.
And we should be able to at least communicate. That may not be the same,
Yeah.
but have some type of foundation
For sure.
of clear understanding.
Because that person, that's like the best kind of business. I work in sales. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
referrals are the best kind of business. If the customer has already communicated with the potential client, then it's really almost a done deal.
Yep,
It just you're just pretty much going in there and filling the expectation that the referrer already kind of set. Like, this is my guy. He does this, and this, and this, and it's the easiest business to get.
Correct. And you just can already tell, like, they may have the same like mind of quality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we already have some type of understanding on that. So that's where I'm at today. They all came full circle.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it.
Love it, love it. So within that journey, right, you had a couple of things. You went from working a job to going the entrepreneurial route, and it might have been kind of forced, but you already had it in your mind, and like sometimes that's how life works. What is that like? What shift did you have to make from like, okay, well, there is a discipline you have to have for work, but then there's a different kind of discipline when it's you. You don't answer. You answer to yourself. Like what was that shift like for you?
I'll be honest. So it's been 7 years that I've been a full entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got disciplined till 5 years in. So it's been 2 years where I created a system.
Mm-hmm.
I've stood on my boundaries. I've really put everything back into the business.
Mm-hmm.
I had to really look myself in the mirror and make lifestyle adjustments, you know, because we kind of get ourselves caught up in it sometimes where we don't want to make that change.
Yeah.
We feel as though if we have to sacrifice something from our lifestyle, that we're going backwards.
Yeah.
And I had to do an ego check. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. It's okay to, you can't get these Jordans.
Yeah.
It's okay. You not going on no trip.
Yep.
I haven't gone on a real trip or vacation, and
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do both, not miss these vibes
Not
with the
not
fellas,
not miss the events and not miss all the
and,
fun stuff.
and
No,
I
and
had to really
yeah.
and truly have a reality check and said, "Oh, you're not where you need to be."
Mm.
And everyone outside may think I'm where I need to be,
Yeah.
but deep down you could be further.
100%.
And it took me to really get disciplined, understand, like, I'm content with what I have.
Yeah.
Be able to tell my kids no.
Yeah.
Be able to tell friends no.
Mm.
If I can't do it, I can't do it. And me being able to say no to certain things allow me to preserve what I have to put back into my business to be able to say yes in the future.
Gotcha.
What
was something that you, maybe one specific thing that you had to like say I'm pulling back on or change, like from a habit standpoint, when you said you got like to that 5 year point? Like, give me one thing that was like, you know what, I got to stop doing this, or I got to implement this or change this.
For one, like, it was more so a reality check within me. Like, I was spending away like, all right, I'll get it back.
Gotcha.
The
not having a discipline around
not having
spending.
I was living above my means.
Gotcha.
Which led to me having those sneakers before, right? You know how I said it's gonna come back full circle.
Yeah.
I had those sneakers. I had to detach from that.
Yeah.
I had a property in New Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's my first one, my baby.
Yeah.
I never wanted to let that house go.
Yeah.
But I bought that house for when I had to sell it.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I wanted to sell it.
Yeah.
It's because I had to.
Yeah.
That was the biggest blow when reality check is like, that was my ace.
Yeah.
And for me to have to use my ace and put it on the table.
Yeah.
That was the reality check. Was like, everything from here on has to go right.
Mm.
Because I got no more aces.
Gotcha.
So for me to get to that point where, like, all right, that's my baby. I got so much equity in it.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that to clean up just so I could have a clear head to move forward.
Yeah.
And
that's powerful though. Like
that
was
was a big attachment. I never thought I would do it, but I had to, and I have no regrets doing it.
Yeah.
Because it got me to the point where I am just disciplined now. I don't.
You didn't really need it.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, as in, like, I think even just in general with things, right? I think we get attached to certain things, but we don't really need these things for us to be whoever we are.
Exactly.
Right. And like sometimes letting go, you have to let go. It might feel painful initially, but it's like it's almost like a little bit of a release. It's like, look, I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and doing that helped me get here.
So in a sense, I had to let go of the fact that if it got to the point where I had to let my baby go, that house go, I had to sit back and do some reflection, look myself in the mirror. It was like, if I would have let all these other things that go that I thought that I needed, that made me feel good, I would have had to let my ace go.
There you go. That could be a life lesson. Learn a hard lesson.
It was a hard lesson, but it set everything else for me moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm not moved by anything materialistic. I'm
Mm.
not moved by like I once was.
Yeah.
I'm not moved by the need to feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a real thing.
you know. And once
FOMO.
I got killed. I got killed in crypto with FOMO.
Oh man, I
you
think a lot of
know,
people did, man.
me just feeling like just taking these risks, thinking like, all right, just gonna keep the lifestyle going.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't do the research.
yeah,
I'm investing stuff I didn't do the
yeah.
research.
They always say you shouldn't invest in anything that you don't understand or
So
believe in.
it's allowed me these losses allow me to sit back, do the research not only in my next play,
Mm.
but the research within myself.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see where am I at.
Yeah,
So it's a bunch of reality checks and me losing things and me having to separate from things and me having to let things go even though I didn't want to. It put me in a space where everything. What more can I lose?
yeah.
At that time, um, it got deep. It got rough. Going through a heartbreak.
Yeah.
And
With the
you,
with the
with the
special lady.
family, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you're going through that and business not going the way you really want to because I don't got my mind, I don't got my swag, my
Mm-hmm.
aura. Because you got going through both at the same time.
Yeah.
You're going through a heartbreak,
And doing business.
finances,
Yeah.
which all came. Now I'm trying to please myself, like live through it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like nothing gonna change, like this still gonna make me feel good. That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
heal it. Instead of me really taking it all in,
Yeah.
understanding like this happened for this reason. Let me not rush this next play to feel as though all right, I make this money here and now it's gonna make me feel better. The money not gonna make you feel better.
Nope.
I end up losing money because I'm not really assessing these opportunities properly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being disciplined with the play the way I need to execute 100%.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where it was a let go moment. And did some real reflecting, healing, and it I had to go through all of that.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't want to go through none of it, had to go through.
Well,
all
that's I mean that's life.
of it. Yeah,
That's life, man.
I
Like
had to.
if you knew the I guess the roadblocks and adversities you have to face in order to find some success, you may not even start.
Yeah, and the thing is, like a lot of my L's, I'm happy I took it at a young age.
Yeah,
Because I know what not to do next.
100%.
If these scenarios present itself again, I should know how to navigate through the trouble.
Yeah,
I've been, because my head is so clear now. I'm not letting the outside noise get to me. I'm able to see the red flags.
Yeah.
I'm able to see the green flags. I'm able to get my wittiness back again.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something about me that I knew that got me this long, 7 years.
Yeah.
Not only just my resiliency, but my ability to keep my word.
Yeah.
Through it all, I made sure the customer was 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the quality work was first, even if it meant that me losing. Those are opportunities I needed every dollar.
Yeah,
But make sure that the main thing stay the main thing. And now, opportunities. I feel like because I showed my character through those scenarios and situations, and did the right thing,
mm-hmm.
even though it's maybe ways and times we all tested.
Yeah, you can get a lick
get
here.
away. They're not gonna know about it. You know what I mean?
Integrity.
It ends up and staying disciplined, consistent.
Yeah,
the opportunity is gonna come.
I always say discipline or over motivation, right? Because like you said, you were kind of going through some stuff, and it'd have been the easy thing to be like, "Oh no, I'm not feeling right to do this," but you still kept doing what you know you needed to do, doing the right actions. The results will come. The results are usually just a small part. It's the journey and like going through all that tough stuff and being disciplined throughout that storm. Essentially, is what gets you the long term success.
For sure. And being a good person too. I was able to lean on family, friends that supported me and believed in me, and I'm forever grateful for that. And like you said, it's those core principles. Like we talk about it all the time. You know what I mean? With the kids, we beating it into them as much as we can.
Yeah.
It's that character that not getting caught up so much in society.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna bring you truly set us apart. And I feel like we grew up in a different time.
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Especially what's going on
and
now.
yeah, it's a far different time, but I'm appreciative of it because it gave us a level of grit, and
Yeah,
adversity is gonna come, but do you have that grit in you,
yeah.
to really and truly push through the adversity because it's gonna come. I
That's
don't care what the scenario is in life, adversity is
you're
gonna
always gonna
face
you're
you.
always gonna deal with some adversity for sure. The one thing I've noticed you say a couple of times is like the support system of friends and then or family, like how important, and I'm sure you see it right with maybe people or just people in society. How important was it for you to have that home base, to have your mom and pops to kind of show an example, just people around you that actually cared about you, to be able to be resilient during these adverse times that you dealt with.
I'm being honest, it was everything, and I never really understood depression.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, when you hear people going through depression, and I never really talked about it. I never understood. I'm not like, why you can't just snap out of it?
Yeah,
When you're not in those
yeah,
spaces, it's easy for you to be like, is it really that bad?
yeah. Is it real?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean. Like, you really have to question yourself. Like, is depression, like, what is it to be mad about? Like,
yeah.
just change your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in dark places, it's really hard to change your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But if I didn't have my parents, my brother, close friends, but my mom, my brother, my dad really betting on me,
Yeah,
that was a motivation. I didn't need no other motivation.
yeah,
Because it was in moments where I didn't believe in myself, they still believed in me,
mm,
and they knew everything I was going
yeah,
through. I'm gonna be honest, it would be hard for me to take a risk on somebody being in those spaces
mm,
where your head is not right, filled with emotions.
mm-hmm.
You know, it looked like everything is just going bad.
Mm,
I couldn't pick my nose if I wanted to.
yeah,
You know, and for them to still sit back and be like, "What you need, I got you."
yeah,
Because they believe in my brand, they believe in the business, they believe in you know what I've shown I'm capable of doing.
yeah.
That was all I needed.
That's
And
awesome.
and that's why I try to keep that same type of those core values and support for my kids and let them understand like this is all you're gonna need.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna leave your side, and I'm big on those type of relationships, just as far as peers. You know what I mean? And that's why if anything comes up and I could help, as long as I can help,
yeah,
that discipline in me
yeah, yeah, yeah.
had to get to a place where, hey, if I can't
You gotta be
me
able to say no
directly,
too.
I could say no,
Yeah,
but that don't mean I'm not gonna stop trying. I
yeah.
make make a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I could say, hey, Fareed, do you know somebody that could do this?
Mm-hmm.
Really tap into those resources that are there.
Yeah,
And because I knew what it's like when I needed a resource to tap into,
yeah.
and I was very fortunate to have those resources and individuals capable to believe in me in those times I did not believe in myself, truthfully.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, you're on a habitual thinker, man. So like, give me a habit, one or two habits that you kind of stick to that help you throughout your day to day, or that have helped you, to find success throughout your, entrepreneurial journey.
The thing that I appreciate the most in my entrepreneurial journey is my freedom, and I don't take it for granted. So I make sure that anything that's like my kids related,
Mm-hmm.
basketball practice, basketball games,
Mm-hmm.
gymnastic shows, I don't miss it for anything.
Gotcha.
Everything has to work around that. I've never been in a predicament where I'm not gonna make my son's game because of an appointment or a work
Mm.
opportunity. I have never done it, and I won't. Even as something similar as practice, I may get there a little bit late, but I'm
Yeah.
there. I feel as though me sticking true to that is like making sure that the main thing is not the money.
Yeah.
It's not the opportunities. If it's meant for me, it's gonna come
Mm.
regardless. And I try to be as present as I can. My phone's always ringing.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That is something
That's a
I'm
tough
working
thing.
on.
That's a
That's
tough thing
I'm
for
gonna be
everybody,
honest.
man.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. My daughter made a book. She was like, "Hey guys, let me help my dad get off his phone." You know what I mean? So at that point, I'm like, "Oh, it's really real."
They see it too. I
Yeah, they
think we're all
do.
guilty
They
of it to
do.
an extent, for sure.
But that is something that is a big goal of mine now.
Yeah,
Just to like when I'm really there, really like hard stops, like
yeah,
it's off.
really.
And I've gotten better with but I make sure I'm there. I make sure I'm present. I make sure I'm involved. And just keep pouring life into them.
Yeah.
And me being disciplined with my personal life is creating a good, healthy work life balance.
Mm.
So if I'm disciplined here and I can show up, I know that's me. If I'm consistent with all his practices and
Yeah.
making it happen, now when I set a schedule, follow my planner
Mm-hmm.
within the business, cool. Now I've been talking about it. Fridays may need to be strictly office day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So just always keep fine tuning, tweaking
Fine
in
tuning.
areas where you keep consistent with appointments, the books. Trying to be on time. And just keep the communication where it need to be. So, I just make sure the main thing is family, and everything else comes after. I don't.
Mm.
If I'm disciplined there,
How you do it?
everything
How you do anything is how you do everything. I love that
exactly.
quote.
So
So tell me about uh, just one win that you're proud of, right, throughout your journey.
honestly, when I finished, me and my team finished the Magnolia project that we did.
Mm.
It felt real good when um, we were inquiring on another property, and a gentleman from the city, he worked for the city, the blight department. He actually wrote an email in my favor,
Mm.
to the individual selling the property, and spoke highly of the quality of work that we've done in the city
Mm.
and that we are doing, and the advocacy that he spoke to a point that he wanted, us to acquire due to that.
Mm.
So me being in those positions let it be known, like everything that I talked about, these opportunities are coming because I knew it would play if I did it this way.
Yeah.
You know, keep the quality high.
Mm-hmm.
Not compromise it. And if I do a flip, I'm not doing it to make it look cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I want them to have the bells and whistles, what's convenient, what's trendy,
Yeah.
because it's eliminating the butts.
Yeah.
And me being in a predicament where individuals in those rooms that I'm not in, my name is being brought up in
Reputation.
conversation. That's saying everything I'm doing is working.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna compromise anything or let anything get in the way that's going to affect all the hard work that I am doing.
Yeah.
And
And just so people may not know, like give like a little, just like a little summary of like what that project was. I seen you working on it for the
yeah,
longest. You know what I'm saying? So like
yeah, that was a
talk
big.
through like what that was, how long it took, and
I call it the Beauty and the Beast.
okay.
When we got it, it was horrible. It was no one touched the building for over 20 years.
So it was vacant for 20 years.
Vacant for
Wow.
20 years. It's a six-family brick building, 208 Magnolia Street. Um, that building had a lot of poor reputation.
Mm.
When people spoke about it in the area, it had structural issues. We had to reframe it from the basement all the way up to the third floor.
Wow.
New roof, new windows. Nothing was salvageable inside the building. Um,
So it was like a complete gut.
Complete
The only
gut.
thing that was still there is the bricks that made the
The brick,
building.
no,
And some of them may not even be there.
Yeah, we had to resupport it. There was a lot of framing.
Wow.
New subfloor throughout. Um, that took us 14 months.
Wow.
That was the longest project I've been a part of. It was stressful. It was, but we had a great team. We had individuals play their roles to the T. Communication was at a high level, and because of that, I feel as though we got to the finish line.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do like we put high end flooring in there, granite countertops, washer and dryer hookups. We also just want to let individuals in those environments just know that just because it's in the hood,
Yeah, in the hood
doesn't mean you
it
can't
has
have,
to look like
or just have a
crap.
quality of life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't need to go down to the avenue to go to the laundromat. You
Yeah.
can do it at home.
Yeah.
Let individuals take pride in it, and we feel as though, and it's been a method of mine, When you put quality into your units, you're gonna have attract a quality
You're gonna
tenant.
track quality. Yep.
And I don't. It's very rare you see somebody see something beautiful and just say no. They're just gonna damage it right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to maintain as much as they can.
Mm-hmm.
So when individuals come over, they have something to be proud of.
Yeah.
They have something that others don't. So and we don't want that deferred maintenance. We don't want something. We put something of poor quality and then
And you're gonna have to do some
a
work on
year we
it
got to
right
do it
down the
over.
line.
Let it last for at least 5, 10 years,
Yeah.
if we could. And that was our mindset with it, and we was able to get it done, and now we have 5 families moved in,
That's
out of the
awesome.
6, and
So
can't.
just high level, could you give like numbers, like what you paid for that, or what some of those numbers look like?
They won't believe if I said the price we paid for it.
That low?
It was low. We stole it.
So you saw opportunity
It's
because
an
I mean it was
opportunity.
there.
Yeah, it was
It
there.
was sitting for a
It
long
was
time.
there, and the thing about it is, it wasn't given from us from the city.
Yeah.
It we
Well, it wasn't an auction, right?
No,
Like
it
when you
wasn't an
took it off.
auction.
Okay.
It wasn't an auction. We had to submit like an RFP,
Okay.
let it be known like what we plan on buying it from and how much it would cost to renovate.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was multiple applications, and our application was the strongest. Some people submitted bids to purchase it for 5,000. We didn't go that low, but you know,
That's a low bid. So
yeah,
I'm
it's a
just
low bid.
imagining how much I got it for. A
Yeah,
6 unit
yeah,
brick building.
but you're talking about a building that
It
requires
needed work.
$700,000 worth of work.
There you go.
So you can't pay.
What does Zillow say it's worth now?
Oh, when they appraised it, they appraised it at 1.1.
There you go.
You
There
know,
you go. So that's the power of real estate and just understanding your business.
You got to understand those numbers, and it's something that we're gonna keep. That's I lost my house in New Britain.
Yeah.
You know,
You got.
but it set me up being disciplined
Mm-hmm.
to get acquire, be a partnership of a 6 family, and now getting more.
Yeah.
So
that's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning.
Yeah.
So, imagine if I didn't get disciplined.
Yeah.
Where would I have been? I probably would have been a weak link to the team.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have the resources to be able to keep up with the team, or to even be a part of the opportunity. So understanding when it's time to let things go, jump ship, and make a change was very important, and open up these doors of opportunities.
That's huge. That's huge. Even just to be able to speak about that and admit that, most people wouldn't be able to say that. Like then you talked about a little bit earlier, getting your ego in check. Just to be able to say, like, I wasn't where I needed to be. I wasn't disciplined. Just saying that alone, you're in a position to be able to now grow.
Yeah.
You're in a position to say, okay, well, I've identified the problem. Now I can take some steps to fix it. Typically, when when you're young, in your 20s or whatever, and you're going through those phases, and like you said, you've had to get to a point where it's like, okay, I had to recognize areas for improvement. What was that like for like people in your circle? Like, were there people that in your circle checking you, or were the people maybe in your circle or people around you weren't that disciplined? You had to distance yourself. Like, what did that look like for you?
So truthfully, a lot of the checking came from my brother,
Hmm.
and a really good close family friend, my brother Kev. He lives in Florida, and it got to points where your friends really don't check you when you really don't express it too much. And they don't, like my brother Coop. He knows a lot, everything. So we'll talk. He'll be there, be the listening ear for me when I'm venting. But not a lot of my peers are taking the same risk that I am to this level of extent. And that's cool. They're entrepreneurs at different levels doing their own thing. Some are employees still, corporate America, which is great. So these conversations, I can't really go to them with everything because they really won't understand.
Everybody won't get it.
Yeah. They won't. A lot of them like, you crazy? Why would you even do that? Know. And not saying that they're wrong for thinking that way. That's
for them.
That's just for them. Yeah. So it was tough for me to know who to go to and have these conversations with. But I had individuals around where they were just a good listening ear.
Yeah.
Brother Kev, he tell me all the time, D, why are you even talking? Like, just put your head down and grind.
Yeah.
Don't even don't even, why are you even on social media? I'm like, yo, bro,
That's
I
great
got,
advice.
you know what I mean? But in a sense that with me more referrals, I gotta show content. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be on social media because you know that
That's part of your
engagement. That's
business.
a
Yeah,
part of my business.
yeah.
That's been working for me. But he like, nah, scratch that. Leave it alone. Don't even care about nobody. He want me to go ghost, like,
Yeah.
you know. And but I understand his intention when
Hmm.
he says that, you know. And but it allowed me to start, you know, less is more.
Yeah.
You know, I don't tip my hand. You know, but I'm also not me talking about a lot of this stuff too.
Hmm.
And getting to a place where I could talk about it is letting individuals know like it is not perfect.
Mm.
You know, I feel as though a lot of people think that,
That's social
you know,
media.
people can
That's
see
the
you though.
internet.
You know, like people think it's impossible for you to go through any type of hardship. When you was laid off, people probably
Yeah.
didn't
Most people
understand
didn't even know.
exactly.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, and your wife probably got the brunt of it. You know,
Yeah.
your kids, like, you know, like you just being frustrated in moments.
Yeah.
But people would just say, like, no, he good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, but honestly,
You know?
I think that's part of being a man, especially someone who's a provider. Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
want everybody like you supposed to take that on,
Yeah.
but you also need people to talk to
Talk
about it.
to. Yeah.
It's not good to just hold it all
Yeah.
in. And honestly, that's really where this kind of birthed from, like this platform, just because I had time. It like me being laid off for like 3 months was a blessing in disguise. I've been working since I can't remember. Even before I was probably totally working, I was working with my dad. My
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah. Yeah.
his own business. I was up in cross spaces running wires. So like I've always been a person at work, and like I've never been laid off. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like that. That takes a blow. That's why I asked about that, right? And it's I think it was a pivotal moment for me, and it was like, okay, well now I can kind of just take a little bit of a breather and like maybe reevaluate things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's needed.
Yeah. So just having individuals like, you know, Sonny, yo, he always tell me, D, you don't got to fight this alone.
Yeah, that's
You
good.
know, and just having that, you know, individuals just understanding some knowing when to give me my space.
Yeah,
You know, but I could really and truly say I had individuals that would check me at the door
yeah,
personally. My brother would check me all the time, like, you know, and nah, we're not doing that.
yeah,
You know, focus up.
yeah,
You know, but still be there for support and you know, because those you know, my mom and my dad, they believe in me so much, like they don't really like tell me no in a sense.
yeah.
You know, and what I mean by that is if I'm doing something wrong, they'll check me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's like they check you in a way where it's like just listening for me to figure it out.
Yeah,
You know, but my brother would be like, "No, we're not doing it
yeah.
this way.
He could be more direct.
More direct,
Yeah,
more ego checking."
yeah.
You know,
Tell you some stuff you don't want to hear,
yeah, yeah.
but
It
you
was a
need to
lot of
hear.
ego checking. You know, so really and truly, and then I appreciate it. You know, in life we did a lot of ego checking too.
Yeah,
You know, there's been times where I'm like, look at my account, like, how I'm gonna figure this out.
yeah, yeah,
You know, and you know, God made a way. You know, and still making a way. I'm still figuring it out. You know, every day I'm still, you know, correcting mistakes from the
yeah,
past. You
yeah.
know, it's never gonna just be an
It's
overnight
it's an ongoing thing.
ongoing
But
thing.
once you understand that, it makes it a lot more
Yeah.
easy to swallow. When okay, I know this is coming, but this is just a part of the process, and
Yep.
this is
Yep.
maybe an opportunity for me to be able to refine my plan, or maybe an opportunity for me to change something or fix something to be that much more finished. But we're never perfect.
We're never
We'll
perfect.
never reach a
You
goal
know.
of like we're at a
You
point where
know.
you can never learn anymore.
Yeah.
So
And my biggest thing is like when I made a mistake, I want to correct it tomorrow.
yeah,
Come on.
right
Sometimes
now,
it takes 2 years to
yeah,
correct the mistakes that you did in
it
two
takes
hours.
time.
You know. So you know, it takes time and just really just being grounded and really being. It's power in silence.
Yeah,
You know, it's very very power in silence. My good friend Wave told me that, and I see how he navigate through because he's actually in the same business as me,
mm.
and it's we going through bumps and roads at the same time. We looking, and you know, there's been ways in which I would just lash out. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And but when I understood power and silence, being able to just to not respond to everything,
mm-hmm.
you know, even if it's with a building official, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
like sometimes you got to keep it grit, power and silence, listen, say, hey, can you send something?
Respond after you're able to think it
Think
through,
it through
strategic,
exactly.
instead of that
You
knee jerk
know,
reaction like
not making
I
it
got tapped and now I got to kick, right? Like it's like
exactly.
is that the best move, or can I go about this way, and what results will that
Yeah,
yield if I do
and
this?
understanding that and those reality ego checks from my peers, my brother,
Yeah,
and family allow me to be more conscious of my decision making with business, with my family, personal, and
yeah,
even just raising my kids.
yeah, yeah,
And because it's like how you don't get it.
yeah,
I'm like, but you understand they still kids, they
yeah,
still learning.
yeah.
Give
They
myself
got to go through their
patience.
process as
I
well.
gotta give the grace that I wanted, that I needed,
That you need it,
and
hundred
that I was
percent.
able to give. I was able to receive.
Yeah,
So just this, it was a lot of reality checks on this journey.
awesome,
It
man.
ain't easy, but
If it was easy, everybody would do it,
yeah,
man.
but as long as you want to be disciplined and consistent and really and truly manifest and speak the positive what you want out of the
Mm,
situation, because the tongue is real,
yeah.
and
So
good and
what you
bad.
say, your brain takes that in, and it kind of
Mm-hmm.
like that's going to determine how you move, how you look at every
Mm-hmm.
situation, right? It's like that's
Exactly.
like the CPU as I think about it. It's like if you put that garbage in, garbage out.
Yep.
If you put
Yep.
good in, good comes out,
Yep.
type of
Yep.
deal.
Yep.
Yeah,
So those are the things that help me along my journey and the people, and I'm appreciative of it, and I'm just here to keep growing the brand. You know,
so what's next, man? What's next?
more properties,
More properties.
more
Okay,
buildings. My team and I, we just acquired a building, 617 Park Street, across from the library.
okay.
That was the one that the gentleman from the city really wanted us to acquire.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to acquire that. It is um, of mixed use. There's a commercial space on the first floor, four residentials on the second and third.
Okay.
So we're gonna renovate that, keep it consistent to the same quality that we did Magnolia. It's not as extensive as a rehab as
Yeah, not as
Magnolia.
much work.
And hopefully we create bring something good in that commercial space
Yeah.
um to the community, whether it's a restaurant um or salon suites or something like that. Give
Mm-hmm.
other entrepreneurs an opportunity to have their business in that space. Maybe be something like this.
Yeah, yeah.
In this
Create
space.
some content.
But just creating opportunities and giving individuals you know, the opportunity that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
And just looking to grow in that way.
Awesome.
So that's what's next, and just keep on
I
stacking them
love it,
bands.
man. Keep going. If you had to give one piece of advice to someone who was maybe trying to get into this type of business, whether it be real estate or in like the remodeling or flipping, what is one piece of advice you give to somebody who may watch this and hey, I might want to take a stab at it.
Number one, you just got to understand the numbers. You know, it,
Numbers
the
don't lie.
numbers don't lie. Whether it's the deal that you want to acquire for you to buy and flip.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy too high, the deal you make money in the purchase. If you purchase good, you're gonna make money,
Mm.
whether it's in equity or on the sale. Um, it's not an overnight success. Understand the numbers. Understand the numbers you're giving to your clients. If you're gonna be doing a kitchen remodel, a bathroom remodel, think of all possible scenarios and just protect yourself.
Yeah.
Protect yourself with being true to those numbers. Don't be emotionally invested.
Mm.
Because when you start getting
Business don't care
emotional and you
about the
start
feelings.
twisting those numbers, when those numbers really told you what it was from the beginning,
Yeah.
now you're gonna be the one, you know, holding the egg at the end.
Yeah.
So just be understanding the numbers, whether it's a quote that you're giving out or it's a property that you're gonna acquire to flip or keep. The numbers don't lie, and let's stay true to it. And when you don't have that attachment,
There you
it
go.
goes back to that attachment.
Just it's
It's
strictly the
strictly
business,
business.
strictly the numbers. The
It
business
gotta.
don't care about how you feel. That's
It
the
don't.
reality.
It don't. This business can chew you up, spit you out, and I done seen the toughest of them, go through it.
Yeah.
But they got that grit and they fighting out of it. I'm a testament of myself. So stay determined, just stay ambitious, and in adversity it will come. You just have to have that dog in you, honestly.
There you
Simple as
go.
that.
See, either you got it or you don't. Where can they find you? Where can they find you on social
Social
media, or
media,
where can they find you physically at your
dben.realestate is my Instagram handle. Daeson Benjamin on Facebook, and the B&B Cabinet and Carpentry, where we could discuss any remodeling needs, would be at 735 Blue Hills Avenue in Bloomfield, Connecticut, Suite D. And any questions you may have, just reach out and I'm here.
Love it, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Definitely. Thank you for having me, man.
Anytime. Yeah, I know where to find them. All the links will be in the YouTube description. Till next time.